everyone, welcome to Yoga Upload. I'm Maris Aylward. Today is another episode of Q&A, and today's question comes from Facebook. It's from Kate. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Her question is, how did you find yoga and begin your regular practice? Well, thanks for your question. First, background. I'm from the Philippines. I moved here to the US 6 years ago in 2010 when I was 32 years old. So, almost my entire life I've lived in the Philippines, and that's where I experienced my first yoga class in 2003. But I had known about yoga before then. I remember seeing this Time magazine cover of Christy Turlington. Maybe that was 2001 or 2002 issue, and she was on the cover in a yoga pose. And I remember just being so amazed by that cover and reading all the articles in that Time magazine issue. And I was thinking, oh my God, she's awesome. This looks awesome, really cool. I really want to try it. And at the same time, in that issue, they had like other articles with the opposing viewpoints. There were articles saying that, yoga in the West or yoga in America, it's not real yoga. They're destroying the spiritual essence of yoga. If you want to exercise, choose running, not yoga, and blah, blah, blah. And so as someone who didn't really know anything, I was very, very confused by those articles. But at the same time, I was super curious, really intrigued, and really wanted to try it. So anyway, 2003, I was going to this big box corporate gym in Manila called Fitness First. And I loved going to that gym. I loved the classes. And of course, they had yoga there. And I was like, oh, I really want to try it. But it took me a while. It took me a few months before I actually had the guts to walk in there because, I didn't have a yoga mat. I didn't know what to expect. And they turned the lights down really low so you can't really see what's going on in the class. I was like, what are they doing in there? Why is it so quiet? And, other people were actually making fun of the gym. People at the gym, they were like, it's gym yoga. It's like, it's not real yoga. And, back then I didn't really know what that meant, but I was like, whatever, I'll try it. And I remember going to this teacher, a female yoga teacher who was a fitness instructor who also taught yoga. And I remember just loving it. I remember really enjoying myself, just doing the poses. They were so new to me, and I enjoyed balancing on one leg, trying to balance on one leg. And when I used to exercise a lot, I loved the feeling of stretching after. And so, a lot of the yoga postures are stretching. And so I love that. I remember loving the feeling. And you know what? In total fairness to that big box corporate gym, they give you a few minutes of Shavasana in the yoga class, even though there's like loud music blasting outside in the gym. And I remember that was very new to me, a little strange, but I liked it. And so I kept going to class. I'd go like once or twice a week. And one of the other teachers there was this male teacher from Germany. And he was, kind of a hippie-ish teacher. He spoke with this very, very soft voice. And in the beginning of the class, he'd do a talk. So very, very different from the gym environment. His style is very different. Like do a little talk, and he'll ask people who was a vegetarian, people who raised their hands. And I was a vegetarian I was a vegetarian already back then. I became vegetarian before I even discovered yoga. Anyway, so I started going, and I started just really loving it. I didn't become regular or becoming serious that early. I'd say I became more serious about yoga around 2007, 2008. That's the time that I met Dave. He was in the Peace Corps in the Philippines back then. That's how we met. And he did yoga too, which was so nice. So we'd go to the gym together and go to yoga class together every now and then. And that's when I started to really take it seriously, especially after we got married. I started going on the internet, doing just any free classes that I could find. Yoga Journal had some Jason Crandall classes back then, loved those. And I'd buy like back issues of Yoga Journal magazine in the Philippines because they were cheap. They were like years old, but that was all I could get my hands on. I didn't have a lot of money, And yoga was so expensive, so it was really hard to like go to studios. So I tried to practice online, tried to read these yoga journal magazines. If there was like some kind of a promo going on at a yoga studio, I would do it, you know. And so that's when I think I started to fall in love with yoga. Was I started practicing on my own, started branching out of the gym, and just exploring whatever yoga I could find in Manila back then. And you know, I'm eternally grateful to those gym yoga teachers, people who are making fun of gym yoga, but the truth is, that's what got me into it. That's what made me really like it and start the journey, get me curious and interested in yoga. And now, 13 years later, still into it, still going strong, and it's changed my life. It really has. Now I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Go ahead and tell me your story about how you discovered yoga, maybe your first time in a class, whether it's good or bad. So go ahead and share that. And if you have any more questions, write it in the comment section below as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.